Hello, ladies and gents. Welcome to GBXM. Iran's mullahs are in. I didn't even know that's a word, mullahs. I guess those are the under supreme leader. I don't know. Iran's mullahs are in full panic after US forces take Iranian vessel. So basically, I saw the clip. Max talk about the clip. Yeah, he's gonna show the clip. So there was a clip of US saying to an Iranian ship, "Stop it, don't go," and something like that. They didn't respond. They didn't even answer that. And then USA put a hole in the engine room. They showed like firing cannons. Surprisingly accurate, I'm not gonna lie. You see this point of view camera from the ship and you see things firing and the cargo ship is all the way there. You're like, man, you have to be some properly accurate gun to put a hole into the engine room from all the way there. That is a surprising thing. But yeah, that happened. So blockade is in full effect. Things are happening. I'm guessing since after I post this video, 24 hours is left or something for a deadline to be over. Maybe Trump will extend it. Maybe Trump will put bombs in Iran again. Trump was pressing the R button on the keyboard, reloading. There was news of like many destroyers and many munitions were getting reloaded and refitted. That means they are going to attack. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Let's watch this one.
This is when the U.S. Navy fires on the Iranian ship and puts holes through the engine room. Just a wild situation. Let's check it out.
Motor vessel Touska. Vacate your engine room. Vacate your engine room. We're prepared to subject you to disabling fire.
Disabling fire.
Vacate your engine room because there's not going to be an engine room after that. Yeah.
Horn blows.
Look at that. It feels refreshing. Your enemy actually gives you warning before shooting you. Oh, isn't that something?
Get out of the engine room. Wow.
Oh.
That gun going right through the engine room. Talk about precision.
That's what I said, right? Like, it's insane to me. Look at how far away that ship is, and the cannon is firing from here and somehow exactly dropping in the engine room. Accuracy, man. I mean, we hear about these things, but we don't really process it. This like point of view camera, right? Like this is literally blow my mind. Like, look at the distance.
Woo! Ouch. It's Monday, April 20th, and we're deep in today, whatever this is, during the tense standoff between Iran and the USA. But yesterday, things got way hotter. In the last 24 hours, the US seized the Iranian-flagged cargo ship, the MV motor vessel Touska, right in the Arabian Sea near the Strait of Hormuz. That nearly 900-foot beast was steaming straight for the Bandar Abbas area in clear violation of the US blockade that Iran is calling piracy, obviously. The guided missile destroyer USS Spruance, an Arleigh Burke-class powerhouse.
What did they thought was gonna happen? Did they thought the US is like, yeah, okay, let it go. I guess this time we're gonna let them go. Is that what they thought? I don't know.
Gave them repeated warnings over a full 6-hour standoff. When the crew ignored every call, the Spruance opened up with its 5-inch gun and several rounds went right into the engine room, blowing a hole that left the ship dead in the water. Then Marines from the 31st Marine Expeditionary Unit fast roped off helicopters from the USS Tripoli and took full control in a textbook boarding operation. CENTCOM.
Oh, wait a minute, Marines are in action now? So Tripoli is there, has been there for long enough time, and Marines like, when we're gonna do things, and the ship crosses like, yeah, it's go time, boys. There you go. They took over the tanker. It's theirs now.
Dropped the dramatic video fast, and Iran's already screaming bloody murder, saying, oh, this is piracy, this is illegal. Iran talking about breaking the law and not being legal. Well, the tables have definitely turned at this point. Stay with me, this is American sea power at work, and the coming hours could reshape this entire standoff. And President Trump talked—
Do they know what war means? It's a blockade. What legal and illegal? America's putting blockade there. You cross it, they have power to take over your ship, and they did. I don't know what legality you're talking about. I mean, sure, there are some conventions and some written laws there, but in the end of the day, this is blockade.
about this on Truth Social. He said, today an Iranian-flagged cargo ship named Touska, nearly 900 feet long, weighing almost as much as an aircraft carrier, tried to get past our naval blockade, and it did not go well for them. The U.S. Navy guided missile destroyer, the U.S. Spruance, intercepted the Touska in the Gulf of Oman and gave them fair warning to stop. The Iranian crew refused to listen, so our Navy ship stopped them right in their tracks by blowing a hole in the engine room. Right now, U.S. Marines have custody of the vessel. The Touska is under U.S. Treasury sanctions because of their prior history of illegal activity. We have full custody of the ship and are seeing what's on board. President Donald J. Trump. And here we are on CENTCOM's.
I mean, oil, probably. What is going to be that? It's a tanker, right? So it's going to be oil.
Page, let's have a little view of the Marines departing amphibious assault ship USS Tripoli by helicopter and transiting over the Arabian Sea to board and seize the Touska, the motor vessel Touska. The Marines repelled onto the Iranian-flagged vessel April 19th after the guided missile destroyer USS Spruance disabled Touska's propulsion, which we just saw, when the commercial ship failed to comply with repeated warnings from U.S. forces over a 6-hour period. You can't really be any more clear than what we just watched, but let's check out this assault force.
Okay, what does that mean? What does 6-hour period mean? So they're like, oh, for 6 hours, they gave like in interval multiple warnings. How slow are things in water? I mean, seriously. In the world of TikTok and Instagram and slow retention, where even a lot of YouTube shorts have to have this kind of like Subway Surfer or something playing in half, another half something else, because people don't have retention. Navy, I guess Navy go through certain training. Retention training, do meditation for an hour. Why? Yeah, just we want to see if you can sit still because it's ocean. It's going to take a long time. 6-hour long warning. That's insane.
Woo! Through NVGs right there, night vision goggles. You can see that subtle flex. You can see the rifles of the assault team. No big deal. They're just watching another helicopter. Well, they're on a separate helicopter. 2 different helicopter assault teams from the Marines coming in. Wow. You don't want to be on the business end of that. They're coming down. Good footage. Nice. So this is a coordinated effort, and Marines are the best in the world at doing this. These
looks like a Call of Duty campaign with those kind of night vision thing.
Raider teams from the Marines go in no uncertain terms and make things happen. The definition of being an athlete. But let's walk through exactly how this went down step by step, because it looks to be a super clean, professional operation, and it showed exactly why you don't mess with the U.S. Navy and the U.S. Marines. The Touska was hauling toward Iran at speed when Spruance lit them up with warnings. 6 straight hours of turn around or else, basically giving them every chance in the book to not get their engine room blown to pieces. They kept pushing though, and the Spruance's crew directed the engine room to evacuate, as we heard in that initial radio call. That's a nice little touch. That's a very nice little gesture.
I don't get it. If you get a warning for from a U.S. destroyer, not to mention an amphibious ship is that Tripoli, you ignore it. You gonna run away or something, right? This is like cops have Bugattis and like Ferraris, and like somebody, a criminal is running away in some old SUV and not answering the call. You think you're gonna run away? This is just stupidity, man. They're like, we're not gonna answer. If we don't acknowledge them, they'll go away. That was their strategy.
Of, hey guys, we're gonna blow the you-know-what out of your engine room. You might want to step out of there. Then the Spruance fired those 5-inch rounds with precision, radar-guided precision rounds that disabled propulsion without turning the whole ship into a fireball. The ship went dead in the water. Marines launched from the Tripoli assault ship. They repelled onto the deck and secured the vessel. Now it's in full U.S. custody, cargo under inspection, no casualties reported on either side, and the op wrapped like clockwork. That's not not luck at all. Again, there's no luck involved in this situation. The massive amount of training obviously paid off for the Marines. Superior sensors, superior training, and the willingness to back everything up with steel. That's what the Spruance just did in combination with the US Marines. And the Mullahs just got a reminder that when our Navy says the blockade line is hard, it's not just a suggestion, and there's nothing flaccid about that operation. But the real question here is how Iran plays this and whether they've got any cards left worth betting on. At this point, it doesn't look like they have much. But on the Iranian side,
their answer has always been like, let's wait it out. The Iran's answer is like, American landscape and American population is so impatient that if we just wait them out, they'll just like do our job for us. Like, okay, they'll get angry at Trump or something. They'll get angry like, why isn't the war over yet? It's been 2 weeks. That's like, why isn't the war over yet? Like, that's easy, right? I think that's what Iran's strategy is. Just wait it out. Man, yeah, the AC is not repaired apparently. Wait a second. Oh, there we go.
Responses came fast and fiery. They're calling this straight up armed piracy and maritime armed robbery, of course, claiming it's a blatant violation of the ceasefire. The Qatam al-Aniba Central Command, the IRGC, and the Foreign Ministry all piled on, all IRGC elements basically. They declared that Iranian forces will soon respond and retaliate. They've ruled out the upcoming talks in Pakistan as well. That's all the information I'm seeing. They're basically saying they're not going to the ceasefire talks. They're not going to try to get a negotiated deal. So what does that mean? The writing might be kind of on the wall. They're accusing the U.S. of using diplomacy as nothing more as a smokescreen.
Look, if they don't come to the negotiating table, and if Trump extends it after that, that doesn't look good. I'm not gonna lie. Now, I get it. There might be many details behind it, but on the surface, that might not look good. Like like Trump extending multiple times, it made sense to me. Like, fine. But if they just point blank says like, well, we don't care, we're not coming even to Islamabad, and then you still extend it, I don't know. Like, on the surface, that won't look good.
For more aggression. Officials tied to the Supreme Leader's circle are already talking. They're spouting new rhetoric. They said that there will be new and bitter defeats for the U.S. and...
What's with that? Why you have a cardboard there? Like, if you have cardboard of the old guy who died, at least that makes sense, it's symbolism. Isn't this guy supposed to be alive? Why using cardboard?
Israel coming up here soon, and they're threatening to expand the fight, hitting Bab al-Mandab. That is that strait near Saudi Arabia, which you can use to avoid the Strait of Hormuz, and Iran knows that. And they're kind of like, why isn't the U.S. more concerned about the Strait of Hormuz?
That's
well,
the opening
U.S. doesn't get really any oil at all from the Strait of Hormuz, and...
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, there you go. That's the opening of that Egypt Strait. I'm keep forgetting the name, but that's,
By the way, Europe is shipping dozens, if not more, of their empty oil tankers over to the U.S. to get that beautiful, sweet crude from North Dakota, Texas, Alaska. So actually, this is good for business for the U.S.
I like how Max goes full Trump whenever he says something. Beautiful, impeccable crude. It's like putting a lot of like stickers on top of the words.
Think that has the IRGC shocked. But the IRGC has said they'll go after Aramco facilities or they'll light up these choke points if the blockade stays in place. They're framing themselves as the victims. Highway robbery at sea. We're just the IRGC. We're good guys. We don't wish anybody harm. We haven't propped up proxy armies around the world. We're the guy that you should be wanting to date your sister for sure. This is classic tough talk, but the reality on the water today shows the limits of what the IRGC can actually do. The IRGC is yelling loud about how they're going to get ultimate payback on the United States, but at this point, I think their swagger is looking a little bit soft in the middle. But let's cut through the noise and hit the key takeaways that actually matter that you need to know. This was the first actual seizure since the blockade kicked off, and it proved that the U.S. means business and there's teeth behind the blockade. The Trump administration has been blunt and unapologetic about enforcing this blockade and not being tapped along by Iran, which Iran has done to the world for 47 years. And oh, by the way, they've tapped along many U.S. presidents and administrations, while these administrations have just paid them off and allowed them to build their massive ballistic missile stocks and their drone stocks. And then a little treat for everybody. We've got another IRGC, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Lego movie. So let's have a little view of this beautiful piece of...
They do that a lot, right? Like, why specifically Lego? What is that supposed to do? Who is this supposed to target? Is this targeting American kids? If it's not targeting American kids, why do Lego? And I don't get it.
Artwork.
U.S. Epstein regime crossed the line again.
Again, they're trying to say this is all a distraction. Everybody that throws out the Epstein thing, again, it's all a big num distraction. It's so funny.
All right, let's say it is. I'm with you. It's an Epstein distraction. Great. But does that change the fact that there is reason behind this conflict? Two things can be true, right? Even if you believe Epstein thing is there's a distraction thing, right? Because of Epstein, if you believe that, there's also another element of like, yeah, Iran did delete their own people, 20, 30,000 of them. Pentagon and everybody CIA did say, and like Israel, like this is the time to strike. So that is also true. So two things can be true at once, even if you believe that. People have such a like singular mindset. Oh, it's this, so that's it. Case over. Like close the book. It's Epstein distraction. Close the book. There is nothing more to talk about. Yeah, there are nuances. Even if you believe that, you also need to understand it's other thing as well. Two things can be true.
U.S. Navy out there playing dirty games. Seized Iranian cargo, caught it interdiction. We know it's a lie.
That's the IRGC headquarters at this point, apparently.
Yeah, how it's an AI because it doesn't rhyme well, right? They just try to rhyme the rhythm and not the words itself. It just feels weird, like, yeah, this is the AI thing. So they have this American Lego thing. They have Americans there, but somehow very Arabic style music. Why not use American style music if you're doing that?
Persia boys, Lego news reveals the truth. Violation of law, they don't even hide it. But they forgot who they're dealing with. Iran don't play, man.
They're like, US forgot who they're dealing with.
I mean, wording style is very American, but the music is very Arabic. It's weird fusion of things.
And then meanwhile, 160 Iranian naval vessels are on the bottom of the ocean. But yeah, we don't know who we're dealing with. Yeah.
Rolled up and made the Navy back down.
They made the Navy back down, huh? Is that what they think's happening? Kind of looks like the opposite's happening.
Drones in the sky, warships under fire. You tried to seize the ship, now you're forced to retire.
Aura farming. See, there you go. Aura farming. You see that fire in the back? There you go. That's what it's about.
They seized the ship. The U.S. Navy seized the ship and is now retiring. Yeah, definitely a retirement. Actually, shooting through an engine room of your vessel. Yeah, that's technically, actually, that would be a nice retirement party.
Declared war, take what you started. IRGC Navy came through with the pressure. U.S. forces ran, that's the real truth. Yeah, two narratives, but the message is clear. Either
It doesn't fucking rhyme, man.
way I ran, hit back, didn't fold, didn't bend. IRGC pulled up and made the U.S. Navy end. Ceasefire expires in just a few days. You really think this tension?
Yeah, the Navy is very scared of the Iranian threat at this point. Yeah, they're so scared that they're putting rounds through Iranian ships that can't be protected. But yeah, the Navy's very scared.
Just fades away. Now you shooting at ships. That's a dangerous lane. But the U.S. still acting like they above the law. Iran don't fold. Iran don't.
I love Iran calling people out for breaking the law. Iran's like, yeah, you guys broke the law. You're lawbreakers. In Iran and the IRGC, we never break the law. We're not like the mafia at all. We're stand-up guys.
You poke the lie and now you feel the shake. You declared war, then take what you started. IRGC rolled up and made the Navy back down.
Yeah, they'll take what they started. Yeah. What's your point? They will take what they started. Like, there is not much of resistance there.
And then all of a sudden they got a hit on one of the destroyers randomly. Yeah.
In the sky, warships under fire. You tried to seize the ship, now you're
Oh,
forced to
wait, that one. So it looked like it was a U.S. vessel and then it had an Iranian flag on it. So I think their AI department needs a little work.
retire. I ran strong, I ran rise, I ran never die. You declared war. Now watch the empire cry. Sacred defense. Sacred defense continues.
It's just hilarious that they're like, this is sacred defense and Iran don't quit. The only thing sacred that the
Do they know what sacred means? What do you mean sacred defense? Holy defense? Something sacred? Defense itself is a sacred?
IRGC is doing is protecting the regime itself. That's all that is sacred to the IRGC. They could care less about anybody else except that inner circle. And that's why we've seen them slaughter 40,000 of their own people. But yeah, of course, IRGC, it's definitely a sacred defense. And then here's the map to
I don't understand this. I don't know if it's OCD or what, but I can't digest BS for some reason. It annoys me, just like annoys me for a long time. I don't know why. You're just gonna say all these things literally opposite of what is true with an open chest? Is that the world we live in now? In UFC, somebody loses and they just dropped a video, rap video, saying completely opposite, and it's fine. That's what this is. You just saying shit. None of it is true. You can't do nothing to US. You never did anything. You can't touch US destroyers. Look at you see that was lit. They lit US in fire, right? With a song. Because in reality, US lit Iran on fire. US literally burns Iranian things, and Iran's like, we burned you on social media.
To get us all on the same page of where this interdiction likely took place. So the U.S. Navy blockade is happening somewhere in this area out here. So likely that vessel was intercepted in this region right here. And again, it's trying to get through the blockade. So it thinks it can make it through.
By the way, their people don't even have fucking internet. I don't want to swear, like I'm trying not to. They don't even have internet. Who's that video for? Are you trying to confuse everybody else? Are you trying to confuse Americans? Look, Americans at best will curse at Trump or war bad, and they'll go back doing their thing. Do you really think they're gonna rise up against Iran? You're really misunderstanding how much ability everyday Americans have to literally rise up against oppression. They are not oppressed. They have McDonald's in the next door and million other fast food in the next door. They just go drink a Starbucks. They are not oppressed, so they have the drive to come out and protest at that level. American protesters like fun events, like everybody's every time I see everybody's laughing, eating food, they make a like picnic out of that. That's what American protest looks like. So I don't know, is this supposed to target American people so they protest against Trump? Because it's not for their own people. They don't have internet. Why are you trying to win over social media? Why does that matter? Really? This is military. This is like top scale. Social media is like child's play at this point. Why does that matter? If you're trying to like cause propaganda, I would understand that. But your people can't see it. They don't have internet. So who's this for?
It's like, think skinny. And they're like, you're a 900-foot long oil tanker. And it's like, I know, but we've been on a diet. We're going to make it through the blockade today. We're skinny today. And the U.S. Navy is like, we've seen you from 100 miles away. But let's talk about the hardware that makes moves like this possible in this blockade every single day. And that is U.S. sea power and air power. It rests on proven platforms like the Arleigh Burke-class guided missile destroyer that ended up unleashing on that Iranian oil vessel. The Spruance has versatility, it's heavily armed, and it's built to dominate in fights just like this. But that's not all that's in this blockade. The U.S. also has submarines quietly lurking underneath the depths, ready to support any escalation that should come from Iran. And then up above, fighter jets were likely there providing crucial air support and top cover for the whole operation. FA-18 Super Hornets screaming in from carrier decks with their unmatched air-to-air and strike capability. F-15E Strike Eagles delivering precision firepower and deep strike options. A-10 Warthogs right there, bringing in famous close air support muscle with those 30mm guns and loiter time that can stay on station for hours if things get dicey. And they can be right there above the Spruance, spraying that 30mm weapon on any of those fast attack craft coming in from Iran, giving real teeth to the skies and not just the sea. And then persistent ISR, intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance can be done over the entire operational area with everything from MQ-4 Global Hawks, those big drones, to smaller first-person view drones that are launching off of the fast attack craft of the Marine Expeditionary Unit right now. The Marine Expeditionary Unit is right there doing what they do best, enforcing this blockade. So the combo, surface ships, submarines, fighter jets, overhead, Marines on the deck, and unmanned eyes in the sky is why operations like this go textbook instead of turning into a mess. But all of this ties into the greater 4D chess strategic analysis section, and you know I love to say 4D chess. The whole goal here, enforce the blockade hard enough to force real compliance at the table without jumping straight to all-out war, even though in the next few days all bets are off at this point. It sends the clearest signal to Iran yet that violations have immediate tangible costs and they're not going to be able to get any revenue from these oil tankers. So picture this, if things heat up even more, Arleigh Burke-class destroyers like the Spruance handle the surface fight and precision strikes. Submarines deny the depths, drones maintain overwatch, and a Marine Expeditionary Unit stands ready to board, secure, or project power exactly where needed. Everything works together, layered, professional, and overwhelming when it has to be done and whenever it needs to be done. And then that blockade could transition extremely quickly to actual strikes on Iran itself should this conflict kick back off. But the bottom line here, American sea power just proved once again why it's the gold standard. And you team that up with air power from the Navy, from the Marines, and from the Air Force, and you really have the ability to pressure the Iranian regime, and who knows, maybe form some cracks within. But it looks like everything we're seeing, all the rhetoric, again, we've seen the nihilistic approach that the Iranian regime has had, and it looks like they just want to go down with the ship, especially the fact that they're calling off these talks that could have led to a peace deal. So the next few hours, next few days.
Yeah, that's the one thing I don't understand. Like, why are they still flexing? Your economy is going to starve now because of the blockade. It's literally Julius Caesar strategy at this point. Your tankers like trying to pass through because you're desperate. So you know American blockade is there, but you're still trying to pass through because you need those tankers to go through. That's how desperate you are. And yet you're still flexing. You're not going to go to Islamabad. Great. So now blockade is still there, but America puts more bomb on certain locations. How does that help? Are you going to flex until it's like absolute destruction at a point where it's like recovery is pretty hard and then you're like, okay, enough? Why not say enough earlier? Where do you think this is going to go? You think America's going to like, fine, we'll lose, we're going home. You think America's going to do that? What is even the point here? To me, it just feels stupid. Like, why go through at this length and not do a deal with America when America's this adamant on we are doing this? Is either this or nothing, right? So at this point, you really think America is going to give up? Like, what is your, I don't know your strategy, man. It's insane. All right, well, if you like my next channel, subscribe and I'll see you next time.